So I'm a big believer on sort of, the security is not an afterthought, right? You don't really, try to go do a project and you say, okay, now I have one more week left before deploying it. Let me engage my security teams, et cetera, right? So security is a mindset. It needs to be embedded into the designs of what we do every day. And from an innovation perspective, look, I am, convinced, and I think the industry is too, is the 5G innovations are going to be driven in the enterprise space, right? So the customer opportunity, whether it is tied to the mobile edge, whether it is tied to the customer edge, whether it is tied to the network edge, is going to continue to do that, right? It's going to be growing the capabilities in the network that come closer to you from an endpoint perspective, deliver on the low latency, high speed application experiences that we want. And what we need to do is do a lot more threat detection, inspection of the key sources, etc., for all of these devices that are coming on board with the zero trust framework that I mentioned before. And we're going to continue to be focusing in that space. Kind of network security is very important. We'll continue to focus in that space. The amount of data that traverses on our sort of global networks is massive, right? It's 400 plus petabytes of data every day on an average day. So the kind of apparatus that we have to put forward will require the innovation of AI, ML, and the scale at which we're doing. I think 5G, with a lot of promise on network slicing, private routing, uplink, there's so much feature functionality with APIs that is going to continue to kind of be brought forward. So I'm excited about those innovations, but by the same token, as you make the network even more sort of, programmable, you have to keep security at the core of it and make sure that you're not opening up the network for the enterprise or the macro networks to more sort of, vulnerabilities or attack surfaces. So kind of keep that innovation going and keep security and cybersecurity at the core of it so you can really focus on the outcomes and not worry about the exposure.